Hey guys, Andrew, welcome back to the channel. So guys, I did a list of disability allies and included Dr. Jorden Peterson in them. Now, put a short over on TikTok about it. Hilarious response from someone saying, oh, he's not an ally. He said a slur on a tweet that he doesn't agree with this and doesn't agree with this. I'm going to respect the person's privacy and not read out the comments. They're entitled to free speech. Free speech isn't freedom of consequences. There are so many people with a disability that have been helped by what Jorden Peterson is saying. We have to remember as well that people who are saying that he's a pseudo-intellectual and using word salad probably fundamentally disagree with his ideas and what he's speaking up against and rallying against. So they've probably been essentially indoctrinated. And this is a really sad thing. But we've got to remember this about any ally. They're human. They're not going to be perfect. Everyone has their bad days. We all know about the terms that medical providers use and the acronyms. We don't give them hell about it. But guys, we also need to remember that Dr. Jorden Peterson has had medical misadventures himself, physiological addiction, which is a real thing. So you can get physiologically dependent on a substance, then need to wean off it as well. And guys, we are a democracy, free speech as well. And we've got to remember that he saw his daughter get quite disabled through juvenile idiopathic arthritis. Countless students and people with disabilities and mental health conditions he has worked with as well. And so he may not be perfect, and it's a hot take that I agree with him. I have been helped by some of his work and reading it. It's challenged me, him saying, aim at something. And I can remember watching one of his streams where someone was asking him, hey, I'm disabled, but I want to contribute. How do I do this? He was very, very sympathetic to that person and saying, okay, have you got in contact with your local disability services? Do you know if there's any care programs around? Do you know what your limitations are? The person was also in chronic pain. So he was saying, have you talked to your GP, got referred to a pain specialist? Very, very practical advice. And he was saying, know what your limits are. And considering online work, online study, volunteering, activism. And that's why I've moved away from the talking about the NDIS. I'm not across it enough anymore to more wider topics talking about disability, because we can educate people about disability and real inclusion. And this is the thing. He often uses these platforms to point out the irony of society who think they're including people, but they're actually excluding people if they ideologically disagree with you. Guys, he's up with the current trends. He was talking to someone on his podcast about the ineffable plan. If you know, you know. Don't spoil it for the others. But that's a Neil Gaiman reference. So he's up with the pop culture. That's the thing. Controversial figures are always going to be controversial. But the fact is that he's going against the mob and speaking out and speaking, quite frankly, a lot of common sense. Aim at something. Have a bit of discipline. Have a bit of direction. Have a bit of goals. Take some pride in yourself. Understand world history. Understand your personal history. And that is the basis of what he is trying to teach people. And as he said, by talking to people, you're processing the world. He admits that he might not get everything right because he's not a crescent all the time. Why would you be? That's the thing. He has helped millions and millions and millions. They call him the Savage Messiah for a reason. I say this not to criticize people, but to say that this is going to happen with all allies, and people are human. This is the thing. Long-term followers of this channel will know that I've talked up in support of him, talked of my admiration for him, but I don't hero worship him. I understand he's human, he's struggled with his own issues, but the fact that he's been open about it, he's been open with the bureaucracy that has become student services, and he's not against accommodations for people in higher learning. He says he preferred it when it was a private agreement between the teaching staff and the students, because how can you keep academic integrity? Which is a very valid point. This is the thing, a lot of people don't research and really listen to what he's saying. They're saying he's a pseudo-intellectual. No, he was, till recently, a tenured professor. That's the very definition of an intellectual. Using word salad and psychobabble. He was lecturing on psychology. Yeah, he's going to use psychobabble. Word salad. Okay, so he's using words that you don't understand. Fair enough. And I'm not going to criticize people who don't understand words, who need to look them up in the dictionary, who mispronounce them, because that's meant that they've read it in a book or read it on the internet somewhere, or even read it on Reddit. So guys, these are the things that we need to consider. The other thing is, I'm not perfect. I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to make more mistakes than the average human because I have disabilities that affect my thinking, my cognition, my movement, how tired I get, my judgment. And so, therefore, I need care. I talk quite openly about needing care. And that is a challenge for people to accept that people with a disability can be really, really quite intelligent as well. This is what Dr. Peterson is trying to get the message across of aiming at something, you might surprise yourself. So guys, thank you so much for listening, and I will ask if we can like, share, subscribe, and comment as well. And I will see you guys in the next video.